Todd Browning, as one of the greatest classic Hollywood directors, perhaps will always be remembered for his two horror masterpieces, Dracula in 1931 and Freaks in the following year. It is crazy that the two of the most influential pre-cult horror films came out one after another in the span of merely 2 years, and cemented Browning's career as one of the most notable ones in that era. There is no doubt that both of these films are extremely important in the history of cinema, and the reason many contemporary audiences who are not familiar with the director first came in contact with the name, myself included. However, digging deeper into the director's filmography, it is interesting that two of the biggest stars during that period are both frequent collaborators, yet neither appeared in the two of most famous Browning pictures. As a result, the relationship between Lon Chaney, the man with a thousand faces, and Anime Wong, the first true Chinese superstar in Hollywood, can be often overshadowed by those horror masterpieces. An element that seemed to be a thing of the past that connected the three together is the legacy of Yellowface performance. Todd Browning, as the director of that time, is no stranger to such casting choice. For example, in Outside the Law, released in 1920, two Yellowface regulars Anime Wong stars as Confucius Chan Lao, who also did similar performance in The Forbidden City, The Hatchet Man, and Lon Chaney stars as Servant An Win. Lon Chaney, the aforementioned actor, continued to have multiple Yellowface performances. Chaney also played as the Chinese immigrant Yin Xin in Shadows in 1922, and Mr. Wu in the film Mr. Wu in 1923. Interestingly, Anime Wong had an uncredited appearance in Outside the Law. It was not till her supporting role in Drifting in 1923 when she was a credited character in a Browning film. Even more fascinatingly, Wong had an affair with Browning around the time when Wong was a supporting role in The Thief of Baghdad. One of the main roadblocks Wong faced back then was the anti-misogynist law which prevented interracial relationships on screen, even if it involves a white actor doing yellowface performance and both characters are supposedly Asian. I think the then frowned upon rumored affair between Wong and Browning says a lot about Browning as a person. It is hard to say where he stands on the ethic of yellowface performance personally, given it's a common practice at the time. But his largely public romance with Wong certainly reflects his attitude towards accepting interracial relationships. Wong went on to have success from Hollywood to Europe and back. What stands out is that she is well known for criticizing Hollywood's representation of Chinese on screen. Despite her early performances that were heavily stereotypical and play into the roles of being exotic or drag-related typecast roles, Wong has mixed reception back home in China, as many critics find her early performance to be too Chinese, so to speak. It is the so-called yellowface performance because she, as an Asian American herself, heavily leaned into the Orientalist stereotype and over-exaggerated her Chineseness. Her later involvement when the World War II broke out also faced some pushback from political leaders at the time, as she was famously disliked by the First Lady of the Republic of China. This phenomenon can still be seen even today with films as recent as Shang-Chi and the Legend of Two Rings, that is widely popular in the West yet disliked in China. Overall, Wong's success that had a pivotal cross-path with Browning remains one of the most influential careers that most people do not associate with Browning's early life. The two of the biggest names in that era had such a past together is largely forgotten today, but both of their legacy lives on.